Let's take a look at multiplication table problem, solving this problem using Python. Hi, this is Practice Python Problems and Efficient Solutions here at Robotic View. My name is Art. So let me show you how you could use Python to generate multiplication table. So obviously we're all familiar with the concept of multiplication table, right? So you just grab number from row and multiply it by a number from column, right? So that's pretty much simple. Now let me break it down and show you how you could actually solve this problem efficiently using Python. However, before we start, I want to remind you a couple of things. So first of all, we will be using strings, so let me remind you that you could use dir. You could place period here, press tab, and then you'll see all available methods. So one of the methods that we will need to use here today is the method format. So question, what does it do? If you're not sure, you could actually run help and format. Let's take a look. It returns formatted version of a string. And here you need to use curly braces, and curly braces would act as a placeholder. So let me give you an example. Now suppose I have name, and name is John, and let me move it up here. So name is John. All right, and then suppose there is greeting. Greeting, and greeting would be something like hello. And then, hello. And then here I'll use curly braces. Now, basically what's going to happen, I'll use this greeting, I'll use format, and method format will take that John, value John, and will insert it into the curly braces, right? So basically, format, all it does, takes a value, inserts into a template, into right place. Now there is another syntax how you could do it. So here, let me show you how you could do it. You could place little f here, so that would be a method to invoke this method format, and then here you'll place name. So now if you do greeting here, it will do the same stuff. You see, it also will take that name and will insert it there. So this is F is kind of shorthand. So I just wanted you to kind of like review that stuff. Another thing that we'll need here would be function range. Okay, I did bunch of videos about function range, so you could watch them. Now, but if you don't remember, let's take a look here. Help range. So here you need to pass a number. And based on that number, function range will generate a sequence of numbers. Now, when you pass in one number, it will take it as what? As stop, and stop is exclusive. And also you might want to do start. All right. So let me show you what I mean. So here we could do for I in range, and you cannot multiply by 0, so I'm gonna place a 1 here. So the first argument will be start, and then I want to go from 1 to 10, so I'm gonna place here 11. Why? Because stop is not included, it's exclusive. So let me print I. All right, and you see basically what we're doing here, we generate sequence of integers from 1 to 10. That's kind of cool, but you probably ask yourself a question: why always print something on a new line? What if we want to print that stuff on the same line, in line, right? Okay, so how we're gonna do it? Now, first thing first, let's run help on print, and again, the way you could do it, you could point to the function that you want to know about, and then you do shift tab, and let's take a look here. So you see, apparently in function print, there is keyword argument and slash n. So slash n means new line. So basically what it does, and if you place it here, it won't change much, but it's kind of visible. So basically it will append that new line after each print statement. So 1 new line, 2 new line, and so on. Now you could remove this and you could place something like, I don't know, not emoji, probably not today, but something like hello. And then you see it will append hello after each number. But we don't need hello. We just want to do it like this, you see? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 8, 10. All right, cool. Then we need another range. And now I'm going to do this for J. All right, and you see we got another 10 numbers, right? So basically what we want to do, we want to multiply number from this range by the number from that range. So how we're going to do it? We will nest our for loops, so we will move it here. Now keep in mind that when we do something like this, when we place this inner loop into outer for loop, we're increasing our runtime complexity of our code. In other words, we're making our code run slower. Why? Let me show you why. So first thing first, when we do it like this, you see these two loops and they're not nested. They actually generate 10 numbers and then 10 numbers. So 10 plus 10 would get us what? Will get us 20. Okay, when we nest these two for loops, and let me remove this, and when we multiply I times j, we generate 100 numbers. So what would be slower? What will take more time to generate 20 numbers or 100? Obviously 100. So keep in mind that when you nest for loops, you're increasing the runtime of complexity of your code, and sometimes it is necessary. Sometimes it's necessary. I don't want to say like never ever do that. No, I'm saying that it depends. If you could find a solution without nesting for loops, so then that solution would be faster and that solution would be more efficient. So now here we got 100, right? And again, why? Because for each iteration of our outer for loop, we get 10 iterations of for loop. So now we need a little bit more of formatting. So here we will use that method format that I just showed you. And we could take I times j. And then here we'll place this curly braces, and I misspelled format as always. All right, so now you see, so far it's not doing anything. Why? Because every time it generates 10 numbers for each row, we need to place another print statement here. And again, what this print statement does, it actually adds that and. Remember that I showed you that slash n after each iteration. You see, it actually adds that new line after each iteration. And let me also remind you that although this print statement placed like under inner for loop, so it's still within the scope of the outer for loop. So if you're curious how many times this print statement will be executed, you could just place here something like kind of label here, and you see it will be generating, it will be printed 10 times. Why? Because it's within the scope of the outer for loop. We're pretty much all done, but it looks a little bit ugly, right? But it's multiplication table. So can we make it a little bit nicer? Sure we can. How? We could place here a colon 4, and colon 4 means 4 spaces between numbers. You see, 4 spaces between numbers. If you place here 24, it will place 24 spaces between numbers, but obviously 4 will make it look nice. So, and that's pretty much that multiplication table. So let me again remind you a couple of things that you should remember. So please be careful with nested for loops. If you could find a solution without nested for loops, obviously that solution would be more efficient. Because again, here you get 10 iteration from this inner for loop for each outer iteration for the first outer for loop. All right, and you see you get 100. If you do not nest for loops, then you're gonna get just 20. All right, so that's pretty much what I just showed you. So, but this is the whole problem, and by the way, that's a good problem to practice nested for loops. All right. Okay, so thank you, and please visit our website Robotic View. There we got tons of free Python stuff.